Oh, good afternoon, everyone. It's a great honour and pleasure to be allowed to address you this afternoon. Thanks very much for coming. I'll do my best to make sure you don't regret it. But what I'm going to be talking about is very much work in progress, and I look forward to your comments and questions and maybe criticism afterwards. Like the other members of the Maritime Security Programme here at NTU, I'm interested in maritime developments in general, and naval developments in particular, because they illustrate and may well be a fundamental cause of much wider social, economic and political developments, both inside the country that they defend and in the outside world. They're a window, if you like, into a wider sphere of political and economic policy, but also something that shapes that sphere. And nowhere, I think, is this more true than in the maritime Asia-Pacific region. My particular theme this afternoon is now the widely accepted proposition that we are witnessing a seismic shift in the balance of power from west to east, a phenomenon most obviously exemplified by a general upsurge, economic upsurge across the whole region. This argument, as you know, has been most forcefully enunciated by Martin Jakes in a book which appeared this time last year called When China Rules the World, and which develops and expands some ideas enunciated a few years earlier by Kishore Mahbubani in his seminal work, The New Asian Hemisphere. And what Jakes argued was that the long-term consequence of this great surge, particularly in China, won't be a world much like the present, but with someone different at the head of the table. But it's a fundamentally different one, based on a set of governing and operating principles that are much more collective, much less individual, more state-centric, less liberal system-centred, more authoritarian, less democratic. The yuan will replace the dollar, Mandarin will take over from English, globalization, in other words, with Chinese characteristics. But not to worry, while China, the argument goes, may not be an imperialist power like the Europeans were in the 18th and 19th century, or Japan tried to be in the 20th, its policy will be based on an instinctive hierarchical order, with a certain degree of assumptions of a degree of deference from its neighbours, but much less of a proclivity to intervene.